Today we're going to install a sprinkler system backflow valve. This is for an in-ground sprinkler system. It's advisable at the end of the year before the freeze season that you have it professionally turned off. Reason being is they hook up air to your lines and push water out, and what you don't want is water freezing below the earth or at the actual spigots and sprinklers throughout the yard. So you have it professionally turned off, and then save yourself $75 by turning it on yourself. So what you need is the backflow valve, which is right here. There's going to be 2 washers. Right now they're just looped around that adjuster there. You're going to need a monkey wrench, and then you're going to need a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so you have the supplies and everything that you need to turn the system back on. So as of right now, the water is off. So you have to find where your main connection is inside. Usually it's in your basement, and mine is off. So what they did is they put some electrical tape, or I'm sorry, some duct tape around the pipes. That is so that it keeps things from going in, and these are not in a fully opened or closed position, because if you do it one way or the other, if it freezes, it can cause it to crack. So they put them about halfway, and then usually just tape up the covers. So I'm going to kind of accelerate things during the video. We're not going to do everything together, but start off by cleaning and getting any tape off. Doesn't matter which direction the valves go at this point, but we're now going to take the valve and connect it. So take a look on your valve, and you're going to see an arrow. And that's the arrow that the water moves. Okay, so I'm looking at the edge of my house here. This is the water, the main line coming in from the outside. That's where the water goes into the sprinkler system down below, and then through the boxes throughout the yard. And there's also a control panel in the garage. So the water goes this way. We're going to go ahead and put this on, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, the first side is on, and I used the monkey wrench to go ahead and tighten this. What you do is you line up the edge of the valve against the pipe. You put the washer in the middle, just like this. You line it up. Sometimes you have to kind of move it around, and then you go ahead and you thread the pipe, and then you tighten it. What do they say? German specs? Good and tight. That's all I do. You tighten it till it seems pretty tight, and then you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, the valve now has been secured on both sides, and this is really tight. What it turned out is that I could not get that side to line up very well, very easily. So what I did is I loosened this to the point where it had some give. Then I attached the other side, and I tightened both sides. Now they're about equally as tight, and we're connected. So let's go ahead and turn the water on. We're going to turn this valve so the water's in the off position. Typically when you put the handle, you'll put it perpendicular to the pipe. That means it's off. So when we turn the water on, nothing's going to go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm now down in my basement where my water valve is, and this is where they happen to install the sprinkler line. Okay, this is the water coming into the house, or actually coming up from the meter. And right here, it's in a perpendicular state because it's off. We're going to go ahead and turn it on and pray for dear Lord that we have no leaks. We'll see you outside in just a moment. Here we go. It's going to make some knocking noises. Okay, that was actually pretty quiet. There's probably some air that's in the line as well. Okay, we'll go outside and let's see what's going on outside. Okay, water full pressure is on, and there isn't a single drip anywhere, which tells me that the supply line is fine. Now, we just have to apply pressure to the valve. Now, you're going to have a flathead screwdriver ready, because you're going to see 3 adjusters on this valve. Okay? These actually should be in the closed position. I didn't check before putting this on. Sometimes I've checked, sometimes I haven't over the years. But when we turn the water on, if water comes out of these, we're going to go ahead and reduce the water pressure, and then we're going to turn these so that there is no water that comes out. These are kind of like relief valves of some sort. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and turn the water on. Okay, you see that? Those are on. So let's go ahead and try turning them off. Let's see what happens. Usually a whole turn will do the trick. Okay, this one's still on. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's still on. Boy, we're getting some water on the camera. That's fine. Let's see what happens here. Oh, now that one has some. Maybe, oh, you know what? The screws probably go in opposite direction of the valve, similar to the way the turn-on, turn-off valve is. So let's try this. Let's put these all this direction, and let's see what happens. Oh, now this came on. So there's a service faucet here. Let's go ahead and turn that off. I didn't realize that was on. So now that's turned off, and let's turn it on. Okay. Looks like we have a little bit of a drip, which means I probably need to tighten that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that, and I'll be right back, and then we're going to go ahead and finish this up. Also, once we're done tightening this, we're going to go ahead and open this up. In fact, we can do it right now. We're going to open that valve all the way. So now there's water going to the whole sprinkler system. Even though it's not on, there's water now applied and readily available to be delivered to the sprinkler heads. I'll be right back. Okay, we're all done. So just to recap, we put the valve in. We have it installed the direction of the arrow, which I'm not sure it shows right here, but the water flow is actually left to right. There's the arrow there, kind of hard to see. After putting this in, we turn this off. So we turn the water on, then we turn this valve on. We checked and turned off those relief type valves, make sure that there's no water coming through those. After those were off, we were able to keep this on. And then you open up the other side, and now we're ready to do a test because the valve is in and I don't see any dripping. I'll check back probably a little bit just to make sure, but we're probably pretty tight. So let's go back to the control unit and let's give this a test. Okay, we're back at the control box. I have a Hunter system, and this is actually a 9-zone control box, although I only have 8 zones. So, you don't probably need to know the specifics on how to use this model, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it on. So we've got a single station. I want zone 1. Let's go ahead and hit run. And now let's go out and let's see what happens by the curb. Just take a look at each one of your sprinkler heads. Make sure that there isn't water gushing everywhere. And if for some reason one of the heads is not popping up, give it a little kick. And if there's very low water pressure, you probably want to look and see if you've got a broken head. And usually you'll see water all over the place wherever there's been a broken head. So this is working. This is my first of 8 zones that I'm going to be testing. And I'm going to walk over to the valve. And now water is flowing through this valve. And let's just see if there's any leaks or anything. Nope, it's just fine. And then we also have a control box, irrigation control below the ground here. Go ahead and take a look here. I'm not going to get too technical into what this is, but I'm looking here. I don't see any water coming out. So I think we're in good shape. I think we're turned on for the year. I'm going to check all the zones, and I'll probably have to replace a head or two because usually something goes bad every year. One other thing to note, that these backflow valves, over the years, I've found that there's a gasket right in this area that has gone bad. So you remove those bolts. I've also had some things go wrong within the bolts that are up here. So if you have any leaks coming out of this unit, the backflow, you can typically buy a part. And I see a drip coming down, and I'm assuming that's from the connection, but you know, you'll want to look for drips over the next few days. And if you have to open something up, you just turn the water off right here, open it up, and if you have to buy a new gasket or a new part, just go to eBay or Amazon. Hope you found this informative, but this saves you approximately probably $75 to $100 to turn on. So go buy a beer, go have something to eat as a reward for your good efforts. Any questions? Leave them on YouTube.